What's up, guys? I'm LQ. This is the LQ Review. Thank you so much for joining me here at my YouTube channel. This is where I talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff that I love to talk about: movies, video games, comic books, and TV shows. And right now, I'm going to talk about The Boys, Season 4, the first 4 episodes. I really wanted to review the first 3 episodes last week, but I was very mixed on it, and I didn't really know where I stood. So I thought, let's watch one more episode and then I'm going to talk about it. And I'm glad that I did, because I have a much more clear idea of where I stand on season 4 right now after watching episode 4. So after the first 3 episodes, first of all, I love The Boys. All three seasons so far, I've loved them. And I've always felt that there is a strong superhero satire here where they are deconstructing the superhero genre and they're satirizing the superhero genre at the same time. I also always felt that there was very strong political messaging in this. Um, and I don't care, I don't mind if a show or a movie has political messaging. I think that that's great. I think that it starts conversation. Anytime you can have some political messaging in a movie or a show that is mainstream, it can start conversation. And I've always said, I don't care if you're liberal, I don't care if you're conservative. What I care about is, can we have a conversation and find common ground? I have friends who are liberals, I have friends who are conservatives, and I've always been able to find common ground with them. We're not going to agree on everything. Absolutely not. But we can, through conversation, find common ground. Me, I'm a bit of a centrist. Not that anybody cares, but there are some issues that I lean left on. There are some issues that I lean right on. And so for me, it might be a little easier to find common ground because I'm not firmly entrenched in one political ideology. Kind of have my foot in both of them. um, but I do think common ground is important. So I've always felt that having the ability to have conversation and find a common point of reference to have a conversation from, like a movie or a TV show, it can be good. So I've always liked the fact that The Boys had some political commentary in there. And I feel about The Boys the way I feel about South Park, where they just make fun of everybody. They're making fun of liberals, they're making fun of conservatives, they're making fun of everybody. And for me, that is a lot more palatable. Again, I kind of have my foot in both parties. I am neither Democrat or Republican. I am an independent. Um, but when you start thinking about party ideologies, I kind of have a foot in both parties. So again, maybe it's a little easier for me to um, find that common ground and find that same point of reference and have those conversations, but maybe not. Maybe not. This is just my viewpoint on it. But I've also always found it more palatable when they're making fun of everybody, because I'm like, hey, I see that. Oh, I see that too. Yeah. After the first 3 episodes, um, I really felt like it was a commentary on. It wasn't making fun of one political party or another political party. I felt that it was a commentary on real life events after the first 3 episodes. And I get afraid, I get fearful when a show or a movie does that, because now you're alienating people. Now, just to be clear, I'm not alienated. I'm going to watch The Boys all the way through. But I feel like anytime you start alienating audience members, that becomes problematic for your show. I mean, we've definitely seen it in things like Star Wars, right? Doctor Who, where you alienate and you literally say, this isn't made for you. Well, then those people are going to leave. And then the franchise becomes less successful, and then the snowball starts rolling down the hill, And they're like, okay, we've lost all of this audience, so we only have this audience now, so let's start putting agenda and messaging before story. I mean, this whole thing that can happen. And I was fearful that that was happening after the first 3 episodes of The Boys. I was like, okay, is Kripke, is he coming out? Is he, I mean, we know that he's a Democrat. We know that he does not like Trump, and that's fine. I could care less who you like or who you don't like, honestly. Um, but I didn't want this to become a election year season of The Boys. Let's take down Trump election year season of The Boys. I wanted story to become messaging. If Kripke and the makers of The Boys want to have messaging that's anti-Trump, I'm all for it. I could care less. But I didn't want this to be a message agenda before story season of The Boys. And I'm thankful that after the fourth episode, I don't think that's what it is. The fourth episode gave much clearer direction as to where they're heading and the story that they're telling. Everybody in the fourth episode kind of had their own little character moments, and these character moments are based on their past and reconciling their past or forgiving somebody in their past or deciding not to hold on to some sort of pain that you have in your past, all or even fighting against something that happened in your past. So everybody's dealing with their past right now. And I think that when you're talking about a show that's been around for a while now, like The Boys, and you're talking about these complex characters, and we are getting near the end game of The Boys, I think we have to flush out the past before we can come to a satisfying ending. So I was really satisfied with this episode and where it took our characters and why it decided to take them there. And I think it's just so we have a better understanding on who these characters are as we get near the conclusion of this main series. So my concerns that this was going to be a political hit piece have been laid to rest, at least for now. I think that Kripke is going to have more anti-Republican satire in his show than anti-Democrat satire, and I think that's perfectly fine. Um, but I'm seeing now after episode 4 that it's not going to be agenda then story. It's going to be story then agenda, which, like I said, I'm fine with that. So, great episode. Episode 4 was great. I loved Starlight coming out and beating the snot out of Firecracker. We have a nice mystery at the end. What happened to Butcher? I think I think he has some sort of superpower right now. Whether it's that thing that's living inside of him, or maybe he has a superpower. I don't know. Maybe it's like Venom. I don't know. But there's something going on with Butcher, and yeah, I just excuse me. Huey and his dad is a hard storyline for me to watch right now. I just lost my dad about 3 weeks ago, and this has been a difficult storyline to watch just because it really hits home for me. But it's been well written and well executed. And the moment when Butcher was talking to MM about if I die before I settle my affairs with my son, you've got to get him away from Homelander and you've got to raise him. Again, strong storytelling, strong motivation. You understand where he's coming from. So the writing has been excellent, especially episode 4. And Homelander going down and facing his past in the lab, horrific. Just horrific. Entertaining, but completely horrific. All right. I'm on board with season 4. I know it's getting some criticism online, especially people who lean further right than I do, who, don't appreciate the attacks. um, but I'm on very much on the positive side of season 4 right now, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where they take it. And as we move into season 5, which is going to be the final season, I'm excited about seeing the final showdown between the boys and Homelander and Vought. So um, definitely enjoying it. So what have you thought of season 4 of The Boys so far? Let me know in the comments below. While you're down there commenting, subscribe to my channel. And until next time, we'll see you guys later.